President Trump is leaving the swamp, or at least he's about to. He's heading overseas. He's going for deal-making. Look who's with us now, Mark Steyn. You know, Mark, he's leaving the swamp. He's trying to leave behind the political turmoil. We got that. He's going to do what may be the biggest defense contract deal of all time, $100 billion with Saudi Arabia, maybe going to $350 billion.
Right.
That'll make him look good, won't it?
Yeah, it's a bit early in a presidency to be looking for overseas trips to make you look good, but I can't blame the guy for preferring to spend time with the Belgian Prime Minister to congressional Republicans right now. That's entirely understandable.
Yes, it is understandable, but you don't sound like you're a Trump guy. And I always thought you were.
No, I am actually, and I think if it's a choice between Trump and the Congressional GOP, I think the Congressional GOP is sending a very dangerous message here. They're basically telling their voters elections don't matter, and that no matter what you vote for, nothing changes. And I mean, just to be serious about this, Stuart, I think we have a dysfunctional system. We have a judicial branch that legislates and a legislative branch that spends more time on pseudo-court hearings. That's to say, we have district court judges who presume to make immigration policy, and Congress, meanwhile, can't legislate anything. But if the under-assistant deputy under-assistant director of the FBI hears that Trump once changed planes in Vladivostok, then Congress turns on a dime and can schedule 3 days of hearings with the guy. They're not doing what they're meant to be doing.
Do you not think that there's anything there with the Russian probe?
No, I don't. And I think I'm interested to know particularly what the Senate, because right now we're, whatever it is, 5 months into the Trump presidency, and to date, the House Republicans have passed not a law, but a bill in one of the two chambers of the legislature. And that's one act more than the United States Senate has done. So I'm actually interested to know what these guys do all day. When they get into the office at 9 or 10 or 11, what are they actually doing all day? Because they're not doing the people's business.
Your criticism is not so much of Donald Trump, President Trump. It's a criticism of Congress, and in particular, a dysfunctional grand old party, GOP, which hasn't done anything in 5 months. That's your criticism.
That's true, and they've got everything now. You know something. I'm not as opposed to Trump as nation build when it comes to nation building. I think we could have actually built a nation in Iraq or Afghanistan. But I understand people who think we ought to start closer to home, and that it's unreasonable to expect the Afghans and Iraqis to get the feel of self-government when the Republican Party has got control of all three branches of government and can't do a thing.
You know, he's leaving behind politics, and he's not a politician. He's going to do some deal-making. We understand he's going to do a deal in Saudi Arabia with the Aramco, with 10 U.S. oil companies. And we've got this thing where we have the major defense contractors who are about to launch what looks like the biggest contract of all time, $100 billion going to $350 billion. He's on turf where he's very comfortable, and he's left the turf where he's not comfortable. How about that?
Yes, and I think he doesn't understand, or it's taken him a while to understand that when you're dealing with businessmen, and to a certain extent when you're dealing with foreign leaders, when you're sitting across the table from the King of Saudi Arabia or the Israeli Prime Minister, you can reach an agreement fairly easily. When you're dealing with Congress, which is a sclerotic and dysfunctional institution, you actually have, and you're being told that it's a 4,000-page bill and nobody knows what's in it, but they're going to pass it in the dead of night, even though none of these so-called legislators have actually read the thing that they're supposed to be legislating on. If you come from the relatively sane world of reality TV and glamorous resorts, this must strike you as just a completely bonkers and insane environment. And it's actually disgraceful that its dysfunction is allowed to continue. The swamp actually needs blowing up, not draining.
Well said. All right, Mark.